Hello, everyone. This is my movie review, my meditative perspective on The Devil All the Time. This movie was interesting. It was not what I expected. It wasn't anything that I thought it was going to be, but it seemed like a very rough movie. The dialogue's rough. It seems like it's a hard watch, so I wouldn't recommend you watching it twice, but understanding that it talks about the falselyhood of sometimes when you're hearing God's voice and you think that you're hearing God's voice and you think that you're anointed by God and appointed by God, but really something lies beneath and you're not actually hearing and you're not actually energetically connected. So a lot of what this movie shows is also lust and prostitution and corruption, and also it talks about praying for like hours on end and making like certain sacrifices that maybe God will bless me. Maybe if I pray hard enough, then God will open up doors for me and all of these other things. And also the hypocrisy of some people who are in leadership in churches and things of that nature, with molestation and saying like, oh, if you're naked before God, then God will love you even more. So what I thought was interesting about this from a meditative perspective, all of these parallel timelines going on all at once, and also all of this karma that these people are manifesting, are attracting the same circumstances. And also, what was interesting about it is that there was this anointed person who would speak to people, and then he opened up this jar of spiders and let the spiders like crawl all over him, and people were like laying hands on him and being healed or whatnot. But he was falsely listening to God, and then he thought if he would kill his wife and then resurrect her, that it would be like the crucifixion of Jesus. There's another parallel where the main protagonist, that was a war veteran, saw this guy hung on a cross, and then he was still alive, and the bugs were eating him, and then he had to shoot him in the head. I thought there was interesting things and themes in this movie that kind of depict this sense of like, are they really hearing from source? Are they really hearing from the universe? Or do they think that they're one with God? Because everybody in this movie claims that they really know consciousness and the universe and God. Also to the point where there's suicide from the main character, where he prays and like shoots the dog and then puts the dog on the cross and like then kills himself after his wife dies, which I just thought it was like not absurd, but it's absurd in the way that they think that's how God works, what was interesting about the movie is that the son of the main protagonist starts manifesting and also attracting the same circumstances of violence and anger, and doesn't really have much faith because of what his dad did. And also it seems like everybody's karma throughout this entire movie, no matter what they were doing, they all get it in the end. They all basically, get what's coming to them because of all the sin, if you will, that's happening within this movie. So I just felt that this movie, while it looked good, it was well written, the lines are just not beautiful in any way because they talk so plain Jane. I thought the main protagonist in the movie sounded a little bit like Elvis, and I just thought like the timelines and how they intersect was really, really good. I thought Robert Pattinson gave a great performance. Sebastian Stan's in this movie, Tom Holland's in this movie. A lot of big name actors are in this movie, and I don't think it would be good if they were not in the movie at all. And I thought what was rough about this movie is that while the performances are good, it just feels like this movie was a bit too long. It was 2 hours and 20 minutes, and once you get to the 2 hour mark, you're really not wanting to finish the 20 minutes after this movie. So I can recommend this. I can say that there is something to be gained with this movie, with symbolism, with false anointing, with the ego and vanity of people who think that they know the universe and think that they're hearing the voice of spirit when really they're not. And I thought everybody in this movie, though, gives a top-notch performance. I think that this movie is just way too long. It's a rough watch. The lines are not going to, the screenplay of the movie is not going to like wow you in any type of capacity. But I do think that this movie is worth watching, and I do think that it really just kind of humbles you because of the way that we, in our past lives, and also just regurgitating the same cycles, the same karmic cycles, the same decisions and actions. And I thought, this is the last thing that I'll give about the movie. I thought when Tom Holland, beat up like these kids, and he basically did what his dad did, the fight or flight or resistance of like defending his own family. This was not what I was expecting. I was expecting kind of like a horror movie. I was expecting something, really weird and obtuse, but it actually really befuddled me that these people were living like this and that they thought that this was okay. This was normal behavior from human beings, which I thought was really, really strange. That was my review of The Devil All the Time. Movie review, I can recommend it. Just take it with a grain of salt.